So now this gets to a part of our time that I'm really excited about, and this is where we're going to kind of wrap up and hear your wisdom, going back to Casey's term, around how and what you all are going to take back with you to your organizations. I know we have a student in the room, and she shared where in your organization where you work, what you might be doing, but would love to hear from many of you what you might do. It might be small, such as entrance interviews or check-ins, as Casey called them. It could be big, such as a big transformation to really think about the culture. But would love to hear from many of you, looking back on our time together today, what are some of your things you want to try? Yes, Kep.
So I'm going to have a talk with my staff about how I'm going to have a talk with my staff on how we're going to double down on all this, because you have to keep it fresh. You have to do different things. They know, my staff knows that as a firm we care about everybody. We have great mutual respect for one another, but we're all human too. So that's what I'm taking away.
I love that. Thank you, Kep. That's beautiful. Double down. I like that. Thank you. Oh, great. All right. Who else? Yeah, right here. I remember correctly, you scored really well on the quiz, right? Oh, yeah. I'm excited to hear what you're taking away.
This mic, there we go.
Yeah, I do a lot of this work with educators. I'm a mental fitness coach, and so all of this is second nature to me. I'm already doing a lot of it. So this was great. But what it gave me was information that I can take back to organizations when I'm having conversations with them. Because like everybody said in the room today, it's hard to get leaders to understand this. It's not tangible. They want to know what the ROI is. They want to know how to measure it, which is really hard. Mm-hmm. So this has given me a lot to think about and a lot of words and phrases that I can articulate when I'm having these sales conversations with organizations. So it's a great event.
Great.
So
thank
y'all.
you. One of my favorite quotes, you may have heard it, is "You cannot be what you cannot see." And I love that quote when it comes to representation in our government or in our societies or communities. But I think what you just said speaks to that, of you cannot be or speak to what you don't have words of, or how to even articulate it. So you're helping people see the future of what they could be through some new language that they may not have had before. Thank you. That's great.
Casey's going to re-engage us.
I didn't know if I got to be a participant or not, but I wanted to be. No, I was reminded of a phrase that kids are really good observers, but really poor interpreters. And I wonder how I'm showing up with my kids about when they see me log on at night, or if I feel frustrated one day. So I'm going to do a check-in with my oldest, who's almost 15 now, and just kind of ask him what he observes about my work, because I want to make sure that he's observing and interpreting in the right way about how things are showing up, so that he doesn't pick up things that I'm doing or not doing or saying or not saying at my work and taking those with him forward in his life.
That's great. Thank you, Casey. I think that relates to what you were talking about too. Within our organization, you being the leader can model it, you being a parent, talking about how we can be more engaged as a family or as a teen, but actually doing it, walking the walk, that's sometimes tougher. So I love that, having that conversation, that 360 feedback piece of hearing what they're saying in their own words.
Boss, raise your hand.
All right, Sandi, let's hear from you.
So I'm going back to, Natalie, something you said about human connection. And one thing that we have shown in measuring brain health, when we think about human intelligence, 1/3 of that is contributed to by our ability to connect to people we love, people we disagree with, conflict resolution. We didn't realize how important human connection is to brain health, to thrive. When that improves, clarity improves, mental health improves. So for me, that's something that AI will never even get close to. So I loved, what Kevin said, is investing in human intelligence and adding the human connection part is really going to elevate all of our workforces, because when people want to have a place and a purpose and find it, it's feeling that human connection is critical to innovate. Yeah.
Going back to your theme from this morning around cigarettes, there with the loneliness epidemic that we are seeing, not even just in our country, but in our world, loneliness, one day of deep loneliness is equivalent to the body of smoking 15 cigarettes, which is just terrifying. And so what you just said, Sandi, around that human connection and not and unlocking some of the beauty that is feeling seen, and to feel seen is to feel understood, and that really helps, of course, with loneliness and the cognitive challenge of exactly of rising up to knowing that there are other people out there that understand and see you, and thinking about what feeling lonely at home might feel like, and feeling lonely at work, and how those things can really affect people in the long term. So thank you, Sandi. All right. Yes.
I have a mic. Oh, you've got it.
So my client is super interested in implementing brain health initiatives, but they very much so are looking for ROI and programming. And I think I just kept thinking about if anybody's ever owned a treadmill or a Peloton that they've ended up hanging clothes off of, or it just becomes very dusty. That the analogy I want to use with my client is that you already have a lot of these. We have some collaborative spaces that we've built. Our buildings were very thoughtfully designed with this in mind. We do have, we talked for about a year, we used the Outlook meetings that ended 10 minutes before the next hour. We've implemented a lot of that, but not in a really comprehensive way. And so it's about going back to those, things that we may have started a while ago, but over time they lost their meaning. And I think we need to remind people and use the spaces and dust off the treadmill that we have in place, because I think they think it's going to be this new grand program, but it's really not. It's kind of going back to basics.
I love that. Going back to basics. What a great term. Thank you. All right.
So I just wanted to build on that, because one of the big takeaways for me was having the handout with the brain neurochemistry right next to the action item. And that fits into what you're saying. I mean, how do we ground these activities that we did thoughtfully? Yesterday was a long time ago, Bear, right? I mean, the news cycle has moved on. So how do you go back, and you go back, for me, with the science to reground how the outcome is influenced by the science of a lot of the good things they already did, because the brain doesn't distinguish between a small or a big win, right? You get that hit of dopamine. And so to get those micro wins and to tie it back into what's already done, you're building on a foundation. That's awakening ROI. I'm a CPA too. Recovering CPA. So anyway, thank you.
We've got a couple back here, Natalie.
Oh, great.
I'm going to try this one and see. Yeah, there we go.
1 second.
Thank you. Okay, so back to ROI. I'm a nerd too. I operate in a world where we have to produce money as well to spend them, right? So nobody sprinkles over. But what I would say is that to create the right expectations, so we can back up our business case with some numbers we already have and some great research that has been done, is not our case, but it's our business case, and create the right expectation based on what has been discussed earlier in terms of repetitivity. So this is not a transactional thing. We don't sell shoes like get the money, give me the shoes. We try to create a behavior, something more complicated, and we have to express that and create this expectation. So first would be, it's not transactional, so create this expectation. Second would be that it has to be repetitive in time. One intervention will not solve it. We have to observe, to measure as we create trends, and maybe this is a parallel we can use as well with marketing, how they build trends in a transactional world, the same way for us with our repetitivity in our interventions and how we can measure them. Thank you.
Let's go in the back first, and then Carlos will come to you after that.
For me, the takeaway today was there is a balance between the mind and the body. They're connected, right? Unhealthy mind, unhealthy body, which has a direct impact on healthcare costs. And that's top of mind for every executive in this country. And so, as we were reminded this morning, take that 5-minute recharging moment to go recharge the brain when you're physically recharging the brain. You have to also mentally recharge the brain. And companies have to invest in that to be able to maintain that mind-body balance. Not only does it increase productivity, it increases innovation, but it reduces healthcare cost. And most importantly, you've got a very satisfied employee base. So that's my big takeaway from today. So thank you for everything.
Current healthcare costs and longer term when it comes
Absolutely.
to Alzheimer's and dementia. Great, thank you so much. Carlos. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, so I take away a lot of ammunition. I was only able to be here half a day, but I take away a lot of ammunition to answer a question that I get asked from a lot of executives. I'm an entrepreneur in the workforce development space. And to the question asked about how do you convince them to invest in all of this, is what I tell them is KPIs are going to tell you, including ROI, where you are today. They're not going to take you to where you need to be. Mindset is going to take you to where you need to be. And thank you, because I take a lot of ammunition to follow up on a lot of objections to that.
Great, thank you. All right, as we're hearing from anybody else, I'm going to have the team put up a QR code on the screen. Any other?
Can I do some math?
Yeah.
So part of my bold ROI calculus that I did earlier with KEP, just think of these numbers. You heard Dr. Chapman. The science shows us that just brain performance training lowers your stress and depression levels by 40 and 60%. 80% of primary care visits are based in some sort of stress-related anomaly. Do the math on a 40% improvement on that 80% of doctor visits, and just think of healthcare costs and absenteeism. That's where the dollars start racking up really quickly. The other thing is, from my Danaher experience, think of you're saving 5% of the cost and you're probably gaining 10, 20% in productivity. So it's both combined. That's where the ROI also comes back. So the numbers are there. We just need more programs, more work with groups like Slalom. The case is being built, but you can take some things to the bank already.
Thanks, Steve. If we can help with the conversations we've had today in terms of how to bring this to the forefront, bring brain health to the forefront of the conversations you're having around transformation, technology, people, all the scenarios you saw out of those 4 scenarios in your worksheet and more, we would love to help. This is a QR code that will take you to a form to get connected with Sam and myself. Sam is the leader here in DFW area, as well as the whole Texas, Oklahoma, and Louisiana. And then Michelle and Kevin and I are all part of HAB Lab. And so if we can help, please scan that. Let us know how we can support and help. We do all sorts of workshops, activities to help infuse some of these conversations into your organization and just really start to help people get the language, going back to that term earlier around mindset and language to start talking about these things. So we would love to help. Let us know how we can support. And with that, we're coming to the end of our time together today. So thank you for having us. Thank you for being here today. Thank you for investing in your own brain health, for yourself, for your families, for you as a member of society and as a human, but also for the organizations that you're a part of every day. And we're excited to hear what you all do to continue to advance brain health. Thank you.